try to get these people where they get to pull it on their head and they get to spur them in the belly. And then they'll say, well, I want him to lift his back so that he'll gather up and collect. Well, first of all, that is stupid, because you're in the air. You can't lift anything from here. Unless you had freakishly long arms so you could put your hands down, then you could lift with your feet. Or if you had freakishly long legs, you kick your feet out of the stirrups and get your feet on the ground, then you could probably reach behind and lift something, which would be a real odd way to lift something under your butt. That'd be the only way I'd think that you could physically get that done. Yeah, you can reach back and spur a horse in the belly and make him pump up because it hurts him. But it's not going to help the horse at all. As soon as you quit spurring on him and he kind of forgot about the pain and the fear involved with it, his belly will drop right back down where it was. If I stuck a knife in your belly, even some of you that's got a little bit of belly on you, you'd get about half the size if I stuck a knife in your belly. You'd be surprised how you could suck your gut in. And that's the same way it is with spurring a horse in the belly. Now, let's talk about the front part of the horse. The spine of the rib cage of the horse, between these shoulder blades, is suspended. It's not supported by bone in any way. It's held up by muscle, tendons, and ligaments. And with this, when a horse's pole is too low, the shoulder blades come together, and a combination of that and a muscle that runs right down the top of his neck, all the way, the full length of it, one of the strongest muscles in his body. That muscle is tight. When that muscle, a combination of that and the shoulder blades being closed, it traps the rib cage and spine below his withers, below his shoulder blades. So no matter how hard you drive on his hindquarters to engage your horse, it is impossible. You cannot do it. When you get a horse to elevate properly, which he doesn't, but I'll show you how to do that. He's high-headed, but he doesn't elevate, and later on you'll understand it more. When a horse elevates his head properly, what happens is the shoulder blades come apart. The horse will then lift his rib cage and spine, and the average horse actually becomes about 1.5 inches taller right there. When you get your horse good at that, that is what gives you the engagement of the hindquarters. The pelvis will rock and the hindquarters can engage and come up under the horse. This has to happen before this can happen back here. So maybe some of you have seen people just grinding on their horse with their hands and driving with their legs, thinking they're going to drive the hindquarters to engage the horse. An occasional horse that is really gifted might get it done in spite of the rider. He'll still end up being really resistant through the reins, but he might engage. He'll never be soft. So what you'll learn how to do through practicing these flexions is getting the horse to flex in balance, standing still first. Because a lot of people don't realize their horses are not balanced even standing there. So then when you go forward, he's still not in balance. So all of this lightness and proper movement isn't even possible. If he's not right here, he's not going to be right out there at a walk, trot, or low. So I want you to understand how this pole comes into play. What it does is it softens this muscle down the top of his neck. It spreads the shoulder blades so he can lift this part up. When this lifts up, the hind can engage. That is what has to be present in a soft feel. And you'll see some folks, they think if they're getting a soft feel if they just take a hold of the reins and he drops his chin.